Money is power. Power creates stability and silences what disturbs you. You no longer worry about unpaid bills. The mere idea of having money allows you to focus on what you love. 1 out of every 3 bites of food we eat exists thanks to bees. Therefore, we recognize these small creatures as both important and defined by a single craft. Their craft makes them immortally essential. The question that arises is this: would you care for your craft as deeply as bees do for theirs if money were no longer a concern? In today's society, we can live a good life by choosing one of the 4 ways, and the 4th way is the most unique. You see, as I said, we only become famous by what we do, and today money is essential to do nearly anything. Everyone seeks power through the freedom that money buys. Therefore, they start working hard, but they don't realize that wealth is the slave of a wise man and the master of a fool. 1. The first way. Intellect is grown by practicing different skills. The first way to become immortal is, unfortunately, to be born rich. Therefore, you can focus on education and growing the intellect in the pursuit of freedom. There are many rich thinkers in history, and today we remember their names only because they were born with a fate written like a book. You see, the most prestigious schools in Switzerland, like Eglon College and Gstaad International School, not only offer new contacts with old money family students, but also, at the same time, a picturesque view of the mountains where you can practice skiing or enjoy horse riding and tennis, known as highly individual sports and entertainment. You may ask yourself what they gain more than us who attend a normal college. Well, it's all about the surroundings. In a normal school, you see people of any kind, but in a prestigious school, you meet only higher class people with ambition. Therefore, you build a great foundation of beliefs that will later link you with people of power. In this way, you build intellect first and then gain power later as a consequence of your knowledge. 2. The second way. The second way is wanting to become rich fast and chase power from a young age, which most of the time leads to committing crimes. Therefore, intellect is neglected and power is the main focus. They don't realize that power without self-love and real competence leads to corruption, emptiness, and fragility. Raw power gives immediate pleasure, and that is hard to turn down. In today's society, the person that frequents this pleasure the most is the young man. Wonder why? Never having experienced power, the desire to climb to the top easily, the desire to be everyone's conversation. In one word, greed. Most gangsters and criminals choose this path in their younger years, but most of them fall off or regret everything. There is a difference between getting wealthy and being wealthy. Many achieve it, but very few can maintain it long enough to see positive results. 3. The third way. The third way is wanting to become rich slower as you progress with your skills and knowledge. For many legends, wealth came into their lives as a result of the skill they were practicing so hard until then, as a result of hard work and lack of laziness. In the early phase, it feels like deprivation. You look around and think, everyone is living except me. A longer arc means you are building a life whose meaning, power, and respect arrive later, but arrive without collapsing you when they do. Power arrives later, but it's more stable. It's harder to take away. It doesn't require pretending. If I had to choose one person to describe this in the best way, it would be Muhammad Ali, the greatest boxer of all time. One of the most articulate, eloquent, right-minded, logically driven individuals, but at the same time one of the wealthiest of his era. If you look into his early life, since the age of 12, he trained hard to win the Olympics at the age of 18. He chose to practice a skill. He gained knowledge over something he loved, and that is profound. It's not that everyone has to work 6 years to finally obtain respect, power, and wealth. Some might take 10 years, some 15, But on the contrary, some might take 3 or 5. What matters is that intellect and knowledge are put above power. Discipline before freedom. Identity before reputation. Skill before status. Meaning before pleasure. The fourth way. The fourth way is ignoring riches. This might feel different from what I have said until now, but there are people who don't want to share something they do so well. Maybe it's a passion, maybe a hobby, or something similar. They keep it to themselves, but still choose intellect over anything else. In most cases, their souls are burned and lie down in the abyss of misery. Think of someone like Kafka, for example. He never released his work. His friend did. Today, he is known as one of the greatest figures in literature. How many people are there like him? In other cases, people who are rich ignore their riches because they see something wrong in society. Therefore, they help, no matter the losses. I can't help but remember the time when Muhammad Ali advocated for the end of the Vietnam War, and no one believed him. Meanwhile, he lost more than $10 million in 3 of the best years of his boxing career. He realized that the power he had should be used for a much greater cause than just getting money. That's when he gained the respect of the people and the greatest of all time title.